All right, all right, all right. What is going on, everybody? And welcome to another edition of BB Nation Radio right here on Backwoods Veterans Media. As always, I'm your host, J-Dub, coming at you live from the Cowboy Technology Studios right here at the end of the Oregon Trail here in beautiful Oregon City, Oregon. And join with me, as always, first off, is the one, the only beautiful, sexy girlfriend, Miss Merica.
Oh, sexy girlfriend!
And as always, from remote, my good buddy, fellow U.S. Army veteran, and brother of another mother, the one, the only dapper sapper, Mr. John Toll.
Here's Johnny.
The show can wait. I need to look pretty.
And, of course, the man behind the scenes, also known as the Wizard of Oz, the high-tech redneck himself, our producer, good old John.
The high-tech redneck.
So remember to share our channel here along with everybody that you know, your friends, your family, fellow veterans, wherever they may be. Be sure to share the show out and be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click that little bell so that way you know when we go live, as well as when we bring you new content here on our channel. Be sure to check out our official page over at backwoodsvets.com, where you can catch up on all the latest and greatest of what's going on within BV Nation. And be sure to hit up our Facebook page over there at facebook.com/backwoodsvets. Give us a like, give us a share over there as well. We're all over the place. We're on Instagram and everything else. And you can check out our other shows that we have over on Spreaker.com. But all the links you can find available in one place. That is over at backwoodsvets.com. Quick shout out to our friends and our sponsors over at Eric's Armory and ericsarmory.com for all your shooting, reloading, and tactical needs, whatever it may be, whether shopping in store up there out of Sandy, Oregon, or shopping online. Be sure to hit up our friends up at Eric's Armory and ericsarmory.com. It is 6:03 out here on the West Coast right now, and I think it's time we go ahead and, we've been out for a couple weeks. We had the 4th of July weekend last weekend, which I don't know about you guys, but it was a hell of a time last weekend. It really was. So, but starting off around the table, John, how was your holiday weekend, man? How was your time off?
I got thrashed.
You got thrashed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got drunk.
Fear me, bitch.
Pretty much. I rediscovered that I actually enjoy some piss water beer occasionally.
Yeah, see you drinking a PBR over there.
Got myself some PBR. Other than that, yeah, kind of had a pretty good 4th of July. I ended up having to make a run over to Damascus on, what was it, the 3rd? I think that Friday, yeah. Because I had that Friday off. Because I had to go pick up an item that we're going to kind of talk about during the outdoor segment.
Very nice, very nice.
And then I went into the Washington side on the way home, expecting to find some fireworks stands, and I'm only guessing because of the stupid bullshit pandemic crap that they didn't have any. So,
Wow.
Damn.
Usually the places that are in right across the river in Biggs and in right across from the Dalles and Dallasport weren't there.
Really?
Real.
Nope.
Wow. So I know there are fireworks stands that were open all over the place over here. That's for sure. So kind of
Yeah, all
strange
the
to not hear.
normal ones were up and going and all
Yeah.
that. So surprised to hear you didn't have any out your way.
Yeah, well, this wasn't in our state, so
Yeah.
take that for what it's worth.
I don't know. California had their fireworks going. That's for
Yeah.
sure. The entire state did. There's. Did you see the footage, the aerial footage of Los Angeles on night of 4th of July? Even though the city canceled all firework events.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It was crazy here. Prineville and Madras, I believe, and maybe Bend. I don't know if Bend actually had their fireworks show or not, but Prineville and Madras were the only 2 places that had, at least in Central Oregon, that had their fireworks displays.
Yeah. Well, it's
So,
like
you're
Malala.
busy. And so it got crazy in town. There was like 3 house fires that happened in Prineville.
Crap.
Like it sounded like it honestly sounded like Baghdad a little bit around here. Like it was crazy. I was like, damn.
Oh, damn.
It's really fucking going off this year.
Apparently. Well, I know, what was it, Josh? What was it, like an hour before they started? Malala Buckaroo said, oh, yeah, by the way, guess what? Even though there's not a rodeo, we're going to do fireworks tonight. And
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I had heard a rumoring, but I was not 100% sure about it. And then, yeah, about an hour before they started posting saying they were doing it.
Yep.
And people could come out, watch from the cars and whatever else.
Yep.
Around town and all that. And we were down at the
I was
coast.
saying, we were at the
so,
coast.
Yeah, we didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah. So,
Right? Yeah, it was crazy here. Lit off a lot of fireworks that night. Pissed off our neighbors a little bit.
Oops.
they'll be okay.
Oh yeah, they're fine. And then it was awesome. Like we kind of said screw you to pretty much everybody in the state. We had parades in town. We had like
Right
actual
on, man.
public events. Like we're in Prineville here. We don't give a shit.
That's awesome, dude.
We don't give a shit.
That's cool, dude. Glad to hear your 4th of July weekend was well.
Yeah, it was pretty all right. So and then, yeah, we had like a little block party with our neighbors and
Heck yeah, dude.
a bunch of friends, and their daughter's birthday was 4th of July weekend. So yeah, it was a good time.
There you go. That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. Mariah,
Yes.
I think you could damn near speak for the group of us here in studio.
I have to rewind quite a bit. So, first off, hello.
Papa Top again.
The Wednesday before we went to the coast, I spent the money and did a girly thing, and as J-Dub and High Tech like to make fun of me, I went and got my hair done.
She got her did.
Yes, I put blonde in it a little bit.
Went back to our natural colors.
So I don't do a whole lot of that stuff for myself, so I kind of splurged and said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm enjoying it, though. And then we went down to the coast for the 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
My family was gone, so I went with Justin and High Tech.
And?
And Ray. Had a great time and everything. We heard a couple booms from the fireworks, but didn't see any going off where we were or anything. It was kind of a nice change for once. I mean, out camping and everything and enjoying and quiet time and everything. It was still quiet with the 4th of July. Had some quite fun at the beach when we were clamming, which you guys will see more of that in the outdoor portion. And then I came back and I worked 2 days, and then I've been off for 5 days. So
Wow.
enjoying the time off, spending a lot of time outside. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
working
did.
on your tan, huh?
yes, you could say that.
I was saying you definitely got some color, especially yesterday.
Yes, I'm a little red.
I didn't think we were allowed to talk about color.
I'm a little red, and I'm not blushing. Okay, I got a little bit sunburned.
That's racist, Josh. You can't say that.
Even my arms, you can see, there's a little bit red. But still enjoying the outdoors and getting a lot of outside work done.
Don't fuck it up, Randy.
Right?
It was pretty awesome to get all that done. Worked pretty hard yesterday, and yeah,
I would
didn't do a
definitely
whole
say
lot
so.
today before the show. So other than that, I don't want to give away the whole what we did over the 4th of July weekend or anything, because that's more in the outdoors. So yeah, that's
Okay.
about it for me.
High tech. How about you, man? How's been your time off?
Yeah,
on the air?
it was wonderful to be away from work for 5 days. I'll tell you that.
Oh my god, yeah.
It definitely was a relief. You know, going back, of course, is always the grind. You know, catching back up and everything.
Yep.
But yeah, we had a great time out there down towards Tillamook and the Nehalem area, and got to spend some time with some old friends out there. And so that was a lot of fun, and catching up with them and everything.
Indeed, it was.
And yeah, we clammed, we ran around the woods a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Had our campfires and all that, and yeah, it was definitely some good stuff. So we actually have a little bit of footage that
We
we were
do.
to display from that. So here. I'll go ahead and do this one because this one was of me. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we kind of got stuck in the tide coming in, and as you can see, it's up over the boots there. So
Someone didn't bring tall enough boots. I'm usually like it's wet. It'd be soaking wet.
Looks a little moist.
But you know what though?
Moist.
The tides were awesome for clamming though. Yeah, this is what, Sunday?
That was Saturday.
Saturday.
Or
That was on the 4th.
No,
no, it was Sunday.
No, that was Sunday.
Because
Oh, yeah, that was
Saturday
Sunday.
We did the cockles on the 4th.
Yeah. did
Yep.
cockle.
Yep. So this was out doing razors up there off of Sunset Beach.
Yep.
And
Just out of Gearhart.
Yep. And the spot we got to there, we got out there. We got out there a little bit late.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And so the tide was kind of already coming back in by the time we got there, and so we didn't do too good that particular day. Although J-Dub and I did much better the next day.
We did much better.
We limited out the
on
next
Monday.
day.
Now, J-Dub and I came back to shore before Ray and Josh did, and we had dry feet.
Well, so I'll tell you though, when J-Dub and I went out on Monday, because you and Ray had to take off Sunday night, and so we went out Monday, and I actually had to walk over to him and say, hey bud, let's get on the other side of this channel before it starts getting too deep and all that.
Yeah,
And-
he was
and
the one reminding us this time.
And I'm not shitting you. As soon as we got across, here comes tide
Tide
wave
starts
coming
coming
in. And we would have been doing this exact same thing you see here in this video.
Wow.
So
yeah, we were watching it a little bit closer.
I did take a short video after that.
Oh my God! Hey,
Oh,
now-
poor
Is
Ray.
this one? I heard that.
Oh yeah? Well, you can't see this.
I did not have that much water in my boot.
Oh, his feet were just done.
You can see the water drip off his feet when he pulls out his boots.
Hey, that sand berm looks pretty familiar.
Yeah, it should.
Leave some of it in the ocean, Ray. Jeez.
What a lovely day.
Just dump the coronavirus out. It's all good.
Excuse you.
How much water's in your boot? He says none, but right before we got back to the truck, he sat down on the beach and
He
dumped
did.
water out of his boots.
Oh, there's only a little bit though.
Now, the other
Yeah.
cool thing about that day while we were out, Josh, I think you got that picture ready to go. At least I believe you do. So we actually got a treat. if you can't really tell, if you look at a distance, it almost looks like a tanker, but it's not a tanker. It used to be at one point in time, but it is no longer a tanker. That is the USNS Mercy. That was actually on its way into, it was in a self-quarantine at that point in time, but was getting ready to head into port for getting some heavy-duty maintenance done to it.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat deal there, actually. About 5 years ago, it was into the ports there at Swan Island to Vigor Marine. And it's back in again 5 years later to do a bunch of maintenance and retrofits and all that on the world's largest dry dock, the Vigorous, which is owned by Vigor Marine.
Yep.
So pretty neat deal. They were out there in quarantine until Tuesday morning.
Yep.
And then Tuesday they came on down the channel, came into the Willamette, and parked the boat.
There at Swan Island.
It was about 5-6 o'clock in the evening when they were just getting it parked. I was actually watching their GPS on the marine tracker and watching the tugs push them in. So,
which is actually kind of cool because, you know, my entire time in the military, even getting the chance to see some of the Navy ships and everything else, that is one vessel that I never got to see was either the Mercy or the Comfort, because they're the only two hospital ships in the Navy. So to be able to see one of those just offshore while we're out digging for razor clams out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that was a treat. It really was.
It was. And, you know, it was funny because, you know, you were the one who spotted it and you said, hey, I think that's a hospital ship.
Yeah.
And so what? No, what the hell would they be doing here? You know, Seaside Astoria area. What, you know, that doesn't make any sense. So he pulled up the marine tracker and sure as shit said USNS Comfort.
Mercy.
USNS Mercy, sorry. And so then started looking up some articles and what was all going on with it. And pretty dang neat. Like I said, yeah.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
That was pretty neat.
It's a very
That's
rare,
pretty neat.
very rare treat that you'll see one and not
I've-
be on it.
I never had any experience with them while I was in the military, but I will say that prior to my time in the military, when I was still in high school, I did ROTC.
Right.
I was in a Navy ROTC,
Oh, okay.
and I went. So even as high school ROTC, junior ROTC, you have every school, every service affiliation has their version of cadet officer leaders course, if you will. Mine was at Camp Pendleton down in Southern California for a month. And part of that, we spent a week down at NAS North Island in Coronado, and I got to go sailing almost every day next to the Mercy.
Nice. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is very cool.
And next to most of the Pacific Fleet major ships.
And the cool thing about it is that while we were out there as well, we also got another treat as we were pulling in, and this one, John, you should know that spot very well.
Merica.
Hey, you don't walk past that.
Nope. So
So when that sign says stop.
yeah, big old bald eagle up on top of that beach pole. So that is one of the beach poles for Camp Rylea. So yeah, up there on the dune, which is funny because when we went rolling past that on Monday morning, that bald eagle was no longer there. However, in its place was a herd of elk.
Yep.
Where's the picture?
Really? If you know anything about that installation, you should be like, all I gotta say is Rylea elk, and you're like, oh yeah, well, whatever, nothing
Honestly,
new there.
as many times as I've seen Camp Rylea, I've never seen the elk on it. Ever.
Dude, like every time.
Yeah,
I've never
near-
seen the elk down there.
John,
Every
you can
time.
attest. Friggin'
There's never not elk around Camp Rylea.
yeah, my point exactly.
I've never seen them down there, just saying.
Well, yeah. Anyhow, so we will go ahead and move this right on along. So
Moving right along.
yeah. So I mean, other than that, I don't really have anything else to add because I mean, we went clamming and everything else down there in the coast, which more on that here in the outdoor segment. And other than that, you know, it was good. It really was. So definitely a much needed break away from here. And yeah.
Then
so,
you had to go back to the grind.
yes, and then back to the grind when we got back on Tuesday. Got all caught up on there. Well, I had to literally jump from here at the studio when we dropped the trailer off, unhooked, waited for Ray to come pick me up because he, like, you know, you and him came back with the truck.
Mm-hmm.
He came back, picked me up, got back to the house, and started getting things ready for the fence line that night. Then right back to the grind at work on Wednesday. So, anyhow, so with that being said, John, are you ready, good sir?
Ready as ever. We're gonna. So, yeah, spin it up.
All right, let's do it. This outdoor segment is brought to you in part by Eric's Armory. And now, for your outdoor segment host,
Here's Johnny.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
It is indeed pretty neat. What is up, guys? My name is John, the Dapper Sapper. Welcome back from our little break. For those of you that are tuning in, guys, please give us a like, share the show out. Go check out our sponsor while you're at it, Eric's Armory at ericsarmory.com. Go check out what they have in stock. Go check out their hours and swing by the shop if you get a chance and see what they can get for you. They can always care for any of your shooting sports needs. Yeah, and with that, we'll get right into the first part of the outdoor segment. So, first up tonight, we're going to talk about, with hunting season fastly approaching, obviously. I'm actually rather looking forward to it this year. I don't know about the rest of my cohorts, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Isn't hunting season roughly like 2.5 months away?
Mhm. That's going to come here real quick.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Josh, you want to bring everybody back? Because this is all going to be kind of a combined outdoor segment tonight.
Well, not for the first part that you're doing.
Oh, no. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of, because it's going to be an all-involved discussion. But anyways, so with hunting season coming up, one of the big things that a lot of people get into is their camp setups, obviously. So you're going to be, camping out in the woods for an extended period of time. A lot of people always go into, or get into the thought of, well, what am I going to use for camping? So we're going to kind of talk about the different setups and maybe some of the pros and cons and some of the setups that we use and what we like about them and what we don't like and why we choose to do hunting camp the way that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So first up, the good old classic canvas wall tent. So me personally, I like wall tents. I don't know about everybody else, but I like wall tents.
I want one so bad.
Wall tents are cool. It's like home away from home. So let's look at the upsides. For me personally, upsides, you have a livable space. You're not sleeping in a small little backpacking / car camping tent. It's durable. It's warm. You got a wood stove. It's canvas. It's not going to blow over. It's going to keep you safe from the elements. It's going to hold heat. Downsides. So the downsides being, well, I don't know about you guys, but they're heavy.
Very.
And they take forever to set up. The bigger actual canvas wall tents, like the one pictured here.
Mariah's over here shaking her head no.
They take forever to set up.
Well, speak up.
Yes, to a point, but not really, because if you have the inner frames, it's pretty easy to get them up.
Not all of them have the inner frames.
Haha.
Not all of them do, but you can actually build.
Go back to the last picture, Josh. That last tent has probably 4 different frames to it, and a lot of shit that goes with it.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Yeah,
awesome. Don't get me wrong. They're amazing. It is literally a home away from home.
It is. My dad takes 2 canvas wall tents elk hunting every year, and they put them back to back and roll the doors together and everything, so it makes a seam for the 2 tents and everything. And
Oh, yeah.
it's amazing what they do.
That's badass.
He sent me a picture last year of the thermometer. They had a thermometer in one part inside, one part outside. It was 20 degrees outside and 104 in the tent with a wood stove.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Damn, no moisture in there.
no.
No.
And your dad actually builds. He actually builds frames and
Yes.
donates the frames every year with the OHA.
Oregon Hunters Association, yes.
Yeah,
He has a custom plan, and he cuts the pipe to specific lengths and everything, and we have the connections and everything. So with the inner frame like that, it goes up pretty quick.
Yeah, so I should have clarified on that. If you have the inner metal frames, they definitely do set up and tear down pretty quickly. But there is a huge but to that. Not all of them do. If you have one of the ones that do the A-frame style timbers, which I did not include a picture of, unfortunately, they are kind of a pain in the neck to set up because they require, you got to go find some trees to cut down to get them set up.
Right.
Either that or you take them with you year after year. But the pros to it, obviously, like we just stated, they are super warm. Canvas, for whatever reason, holds heat like no other.
Mm-hmm.
You get the availability of a wood stove. You get plenty of room for cots, tables, whatever. And it's a good home away from home. So if you're out expedition hunting for a week, you know, it's not a bad choice. It just obviously takes more work than your average tent setup or one of the subjects that we'll get into next. But anyways, we'll move on to the next picture, Josh. A series of pictures.
Working on it. There you go.
Ah, yes.
So, here's what I have gotten myself into for this coming hunting season. So you have canvas wall tents, and then you have the hybrid outfitter series tents, like this one from Cabela's. It's called the Anaklac Outfitter series. So I just recently purchased an Anaklac 12x12 Outfitter Series tent. So the difference between these and a standard wall tent is these are made out of nylon. They're much more durable nylon, obviously, than your average tent nylon. But you get all the bonuses of a canvas wall tent without the weight. Essentially, in a smaller, more portable, easier to set up package, I guess. I haven't set mine up yet. I'm actually waiting so I can do a video on setting it up for our wonderful viewers and subscribers. I'm pretty excited about this tent though, and they're modular. That's the other cool thing about them. If you get the one that's pictured here in this first picture, the 12x20 model, they actually have panels in it that you can zip out, and you can add sleeping pods around the outside. So you can add like 4 sleeping pods to the outside of the tent. You don't take up interior space inside the tent, which is pretty cool. Downsides to these, they're nylon, so they're not going to be as durable. They're not going to last an entire lifetime like a canvas wall tent. However, they are going to resist mildew and water damage, probably a fair bit better than canvas. They're not going to require as much maintenance as canvas does. But like I said, they're nylon, so yes, they have the ability to accept a wood stove, but you have to buy certain other pieces for these tents, like roof protectors and stuff like that, for your wood stove to, make sure you're not burning holes in the roof of your tent.
Now, I have a question about this one though, and because I've actually looked at the lac or whatever you call them, versus the standard canvas wall tent. Now, I know with the canvas wall tent, they actually resist water very well. However, with the standard nylon, that doesn't really, it does to a point if you have like one of the rain covers and stuff on it. Now, with the material, how is it on its waterproofing and things like that?
So these are treated, unlike standard nylon, backpacking car camping tents.
Right.
These ones are actually treated. And yes, you do have to upkeep the waterproofing, but a lot of the guys that I know that use this exact tent, so you only have to upgrade the waterproofing and putting a waterproof coat on it once every 12 years.
Oh, wow.
So just as long as you keep basic maintenance up on it. The problem with canvas, yes, canvas does resist water on its own by itself very well, but it requires maintenance, and if it gets wet, you have to dry it.
Yes, that is
nylon. You don't have to dry it unless you're camping on the coast. Obviously, if you're camping on the coast and anything other than an RV, you're gonna have to dry your crap out.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna be soaked. But for basic, your basic rain squall or snow squall that comes in. Canvas, you got to dry it out. Otherwise, it's going to mold. It's going to get mildew. It's going to be nasty.
Right.
And that's where the maintenance. That's kind of where the difference is, I guess, that I see. And then big thing is weight.
Oh yeah.
My Anaklac tent, I have the 12x12, not the 12x20, because I don't need something that big. The whole kit without the vestibule weighs about 68 pounds versus probably a couple 100 pounds worth of canvas for the same size canvas tent. So kind of a good trade-off in my view in some ways. And these things, from all the reviews and from like I said, the people that I know that own this tent, they hold heat almost just as well as a canvas.
So I've slept in both types of tents,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they do. Both the canvas and the
Lacnac.
Yeah, that thing. Do very well. When you have a stove in it, like you see pictured here. Yes, you definitely have to have the flashing piece to be able to run the run the stovepipe up through. You've got to have the spark arrestor at the top.
Right.
You can't just have an open stack, because otherwise you're gonna have burns all over your tent.
Right.
The downside to me on the nylon tent is that repair is a lot harder to do and keep it maintained
Versus like what it would when you can just patch a canvas tent.
Yeah, than a canvas. Whereas a canvas, you could take and you can stitch a new piece onto it, or
absolutely.
Whatever, and it's very, very durable to to anything going on. A branch falls against it or something like that, you're not going to rip the canvas. Versus a nylon that probably will rip.
Right.
For sure. And that was some of the concerns that I had going into this. But again, like I said, the nylon that Cabela's uses with the Anaklac is, I would say, a cut above most other nylon tents. I feel pretty damn confident, especially once you get the roof protector on it, that it's going to hold up to whatever elk season and deer season is going to throw at it. So
right.
I'm pretty damn excited to get it out this year, and I'm one of these days going to be pretty excited to set it up in my backyard so I can actually get it set up and learn it, because I haven't even got it out of the.
They are definitely a whole lot nicer to haul around than a canvas tent.
Oh, I bet.
A canvas tent, for something like you see pictured here, you pretty much have a full utility trailer just to haul that thing around.
Yeah, well,
with the
and
stove
you need
and the poles and the
like,
canvas and all that.
Yeah, and with canvas, you need a minimum of 2 to 3 people to set it up.
Yep.
The 12x12 Anaklac, I can set up by myself.
There you go.
So that was one of the other big things for me was, can I set it up by myself? When I was looking at the difference between, this tent and a canvas tent, was, can I set it up by myself if I need to? Can I take it down by myself if I need to? And
that is important. That is actually pretty important when you get down to it, because you never know if you're going to be the first one getting there to camp and needing to get stuff done and all that. You're not going to. I'm not going to sit and wait around for Justin to show up. You know how that goes.
I do have to say, when my dad goes elk hunting with his canvas wall tent, that he has his other hunting partners to help him set it up and everything, and they all tear down in one day as well. So he always makes sure that there's more help there. So, like you're saying,
right.
John, they're hard to set up by yourself.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I looked at. Especially because it's generally going to be Katrina and I setting it up. So, and the other cool thing about this tent versus your standard canvas wall tent is this has a built-in floor too.
Nice.
Which you can kind of see that you see it in the bottom 2 pictures there. And it has a zip out for the stove, so you don't melt the floor or burn the floor with any hot embers falling. So I was pretty stoked and sold on that whole idea. Go ahead and hit the next picture, Josh. This is another picture of. So this is actually identical to what I have. So I have the 12 by 12, not the 12 by 20.
Oh wow.
So it'll be pretty awesome to set it up this year. I'm really excited to get it out and get ready for hunting season. Like, it's like my whole focus this year since coronavirus canceled everything else on my schedule this summer.
Right.
But hunting season, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think everybody here at the BB Nation staff is looking forward to deer and elk season at this point.
Yep.
So we'll have a mix of all of the hunting types minus the canvas tent. I don't think we're gonna have any canvas tents in camp. I don't know.
Nope. But
not right now.
speaking of the other types, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of the
my
that
goodness.
picture is dark, but the other types is the types that Josh likes to do, the high tech. He is a glamper camper.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, that thing right there.
Right.
I'm guilty of it. I like to glamp. I don't do tent camping at all.
So
Lies.
on the other
Very
end
rarely.
of the spectrum, you can go spendy and buy yourself a fifth wheel, which is very nice. I will never complain about having stayed in Josh's fifth wheel during both hunting season and Memorial Day camping.
I was gonna say if he talks and you smack him, kicking him out.
I'm not talking shit at all, but
Which
it is glamping. It's a house, literally home away from home, towed behind a truck, and it is pretty nice. Josh, I'll let you talk about it because obviously that is your trailer and your setup.
Sure.
Wait.
So for me, I've spent years, doing the tent thing, or canvas tent, or even the nylon wall tents. I've used just regular nylon tents. I've used tent trailers. I've used tow behind bumper pull travel trailers. But this thing for me, this was my big upgrade that I did here a couple years ago. And, for me, it's really nice to have something that all I've pretty much got to do is back the truck up to it and haul it off. It's got everything, pretty much already on board.
Yeah.
Fill the tank full of water and you're good to go. It's got, the 2 bottles of propane on board already, plus, everything that I've already got stored on board in it. I can keep stuff in the freezer and in the pantry and all my plates, and when they don't get used up at Memorial Day.
They've been restocked.
But it's real nice, and especially when I added about 2 months ago, added some extra solar systems to it. That keeps the battery nice and top charged and all that during the day when you're out and about doing the hunt and all that kind of stuff. So when you don't have a power outlet available to you and everything. But that being said, most of the features of the trailer require power. So you're running a generator, which means you're expending fuel, or you're hooking it up to your rig or whatever to recharge batteries or whatever it is. Those comforts don't come without a cost. Versus John can in his tent he could take him and have a battery powered lantern that's going to last him all week.
Right.
And
or propane or
he's
wood.
gonna have a wood stove, so he can just go grab some wood anywhere around and throw it in the stove, and away he goes, and he's got heat. Versus I'm gonna be running propane or electricity to heat everything up. So so I mean there's definitely upsides and downsides to each of the situations. I'm just I love my trailer, and I'm not going back. So there it is.
Totally. Go ahead.
I would say that, and it's a lot less pain on the back too.
Yes, absolutely. It's still some pain on the back. It's still some pain on the back, but I'm gonna fix that problem here hopefully in the next week or so.
Right. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that have followed us for a very long time, by the way, what you see pictured right there, believe it or not, that used to be our studio. So just saying, throwing it out there. That was our studio for almost 2 years?
Yeah, we did that for just about 2 years there until we moved to here into the Studio 4.0.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is comfortable. Like I'm not gonna lie, It's nice. It's comfortable. You got heat on demand. You got electricity, TVs, and
John,
microwaves and all kind of stuff. But I don't know. I personally I like. There's something about wall tents and wood stoves.
Oh, hands down.
It's just that's elk season to me.
Well, all I know is when we show up and 5 minutes after I show up and I'm set up, I'm going to be sitting inside in the nice heat, sitting there at my dining room table, looking out the window, watching you set up your wall tent, and going, man,
sure.
I really should get my ass out there and help him, but man,
For sure.
it's so
No,
warm
no,
in here,
John.
I totally get it. I totally get it, and
I'm just playing with you, brother.
I'm all for both. I'm not dogging one over the other, because I've stayed in the former studio camping now a few times and hunting a few times, so it's all good. I'm really excited about having a wall tent this year, personally. Though.
Oh yeah, hands down. Go
I
ahead,
will
Mariah.
say with the heat in the wall tent with this wood stove, you get more radiant heat from it than what you do with the furnace in a trailer. So
I don't know that spare bedroom in the trailer that roast.
I was going to say, really,
Yeah, that thing
you really can get cold in there?
that thing roasts pretty good.
You obviously haven't spent enough time in the bunkhouse.
Yeah, right.
But yes, so I mean, you have goods and bads of both. So
Yeah, that bunkhouse room. Oof.
yep.
So
It'll cook you. So
Will cook you out. But from everything that like I said, from the guys that I know that have the Anaclac 12x12 or 12x20, they as long as you keep that wood stove going at a basic level, it'll roast you out. Like, you gotta open the vents, and you gotta. It's a give and a take with that wood stove and the vents in the tent. Otherwise, it'll roast you right out of the tent.
See, even Katrina says it's hot in the bunkhouse.
Yeah, it was super hot in there, like ridiculous.
right.
Well, should we get on to the
Moving
clamming
on.
section here?
Sure. Thank
Yeah.
you, John, for all that. Look forward to seeing more pictures.
Did you have more to finish that out at all?
No, that was pretty much it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we will go to.
Oh,
Possibly.
that's your one.
He has it in there. You should try and figure it. Find it.
Doo-doo-doo.
Oh, I know why. It's because it's in the other file. So,
Anyways, moving right along.
all right,
That's a big good man,
here is the clamming special. Stand by.
Hey gang, what's going on? J-Dub here. And this week we're actually doing something a little different. So here this weekend, over the 4th of July, a bunch of us from the Baby Nation crew decided we're going to go up to the Oregon coast and did a little clam digging. So last year when we did this, we went over doing razor clams. This week, we're doing something a little bit different. So yeah, back there behind me is high tech, as you can see. And this week we're actually doing something a little different. We are actually going to show you guys how to fix up these guys here, also known as, you're going to giggle, cockles. That's right, cockles. So anyhow, we're going to show you how to go through this step by step after you do the harvest. So give me just a sec.
All right, everybody. So we've got our water boiling up here on the stove, and you can see we've got 2 pots going. Right now we've got we're using this one here. This one here I just cleaned out, so it gets a little murky, as you can see, as you go through with all the sand and everything coming off of these clams. So just pretty simply, we're just tossing them here in the boiling water and getting them to open up their shell. Release the muscle there that's holding everything together. So we usually do about 6 at a time, and kind of have a little assembly line deal going to it.
Right. So, alrighty.
So as you can see here, we've got them starting to pop out of their shell. It doesn't take too long. We just take and scoop them right out. We're going to just put them in our bowl right here. And they usually come off the shell pretty easy. Sometimes you have to do just a little bit of scraping and dig into them. The bigger ones are easy to get into with a spoon like this. The smaller ones, not so much, but it's still doable. So we'll get all these scraped out here, and then we will send them off to our cleaning station.
All right, so now we got those opened up. Now we're bringing them out here to the cleaning station, where, as you can see, we got our intern Ray. We got Miss Mariah out here. We're doing all the cleaning. And dropping this here. Mariah, do you want to show these folks at home how to get these things cleaned out good?
Sure, I have 2 different ones to show them. Let me
What?
finish this one up here real quick.
Alrighty.
In the middle of it. It's a lot easier to show you from start to finish on one.
Exactly. So it's really actually pretty easy to do.
So after you harvest them, before you boil them, you want to let them flush in fresh water for 24 hours, which helps get the sand out. This one did not flush very well, so when I open this up, there's still a bunch of sand in it. That's okay because you can just kind of rinse it off. Okay, I have a better one showing here.
Okay.
I should have kept a big one so I can show you guys. Nice size one. So what I do to clean them is I pull this back and I kind of squeeze here with my fingers and I pull that whole part off.
All right.
You're going to be left with this nasty looking piece. All this light brown, you're going to want to just kind of gently slide off, throw in your garbage bucket. Fresh water rinsing a lot. So you're left with that.
Looks almost like a 2-armed octopus.
Yep. You're going to flip it over right here. You're going to see that little dark strip. You see that right there?
Yep, there you go.
Okay. You're going to want to clip that or use a knife. I find scissors to be a lot easier.
Now, why do you want to take that stuff out?
That is the poop chute. You don't want to eat that.
No.
So all that black, you're going to want to clean out in the water. And I just put it in there, kind of rub it with my fingers, and that comes off. That piece is now clean.
Now that goes into the bag.
Then you're left with what's called the foot. So on the foot, we're going to go over our garbage bucket. If Justin can zoom in, there's these 2 little feet things. I don't know exact terms they're called. Take scissors, go right in the bottom, slice right up the front here to about the base of where the elbow is. Okay? Look at that. I take just scissors closed, go in, push down, slide out. So you're going to see all this. Which, by the way, here's just a fun little thing. That little piece right there is actually the nervous system and the brains of the clam. Right there.
All in one.
So you're going to get rid of that part. So all this is the guts, and you're just going to get rid of all that in the bucket.
All right.
So you're left with this piece here. If you can see inside, there's still a bunch of black. So you're going to go back into your rinse bowl, and you're going to rinse. And I'm just taking my thumb this way, under the water. I'm just kind of working all that out, rinsing it off and everything. Don't squeeze too hard because they are soft. And it comes off fairly easy. Once you get all that off, you're left with that part.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Which is your big meat of the clam.
Which
And then-
you could use for grinding up, making clam fritters. You can
One of my favorites is homemade clam fritters, where you take the clam meat once it's cleaned and cooled and grind it up, and then mix up egg and like Ritz crackers or something, and the clam meat, mince all together, pat it into a patty, fry it on both sides. Simple and easy.
There you go. Another
So-
cool thing that I like to do too is I like to, excuse me for a second, I like to actually take the feet, you cut them up really good, and then what you do, you drop them into a pot and mix with all sorts of veggies, and what you do is you make clam chowder out of it. Don't get fresher than that, folks.
Also, with just this clean water, I've only done probably 7 or 8 in this water, and it's already murky.
Yep.
So make sure you use a lot of fresh clean water.
Have a water jug close by.
And when you get home to fresh, clean running water, make sure you rinse all your clean clams already. We got a decent harvest. So.
Yep. How many did we wind up pulling yesterday? Pulled 80. Pulled
And
80 altogether.
I get to sit here and clean all of them.
79 technically, because we found one that was,
Yes, 80.
so
But yeah, we still got
we
80.
grabbed 80 while we were out there.
Yes.
Hey, that's 4 limits. It's 20 per. So
The small ones for you.
at least here in the great
Pacific Northwest.
crazy state of Oregon. So, but yep. Go
The
ahead.
bigger ones are easier to clean than the little ones. But they do all taste good.
Yes, they do. I tend to think the medium ones have a little bit better flavor.
The smaller ones, you have to be really dainty with cleaning. If you can see it if I lay it out.
I'm trying to, but you keep moving it. Yeah.
So yeah, all this stuff is going to come off.
Snip the tip.
And that's going to get thrown in the garbage bucket. So, if you get a chance to come down to the Oregon coast and hit the clams, make sure you have your clamming license and you know your legal limits and everything. Other than that, take care of your harvest as soon as you can after 24 hours of flushing in fresh water. Make sure you clean them really well and then enjoy them. Have a good day.
All right, folks, that's a quick little down and dirty on how to take care of some good old Oregon coast cockle clams. As you can see, yeah, it's kind of a mess to take care of, but it's a whole lot of fun to go out and harvest them. So best time to go is out during low tide. You know, get out there and mud flats and stuff. And the biggest thing about it is check with your local tide tables. Check your local listings for any closures or anything else like that may be going into effect. Because a lot of times there's a lot of toxins and stuff in the ocean tides and stuff. They'll close clamming down. Most of the time for cockles, not so much. A lot of times it does happen for razor clams. It goes off and on. So, but biggest thing about it, just be sure to be responsible. Check your synopsis. Check with your local Fish and Wildlife. And in the meantime, be safe. Enjoy. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Alrighty. And that is how to handle your cockles.
I will say in that video when I mentioned clam fritters and how to make them with the ground up crackers and ground up clam and the egg, Wednesday after the 4th of July, my mom ended up showing me and teaching me firsthand, and I'm showing me again, I guess I should say, of how to make them and everything. And Josh and Justin both got to experience them. And even Josh's daughter, who does not like seafood, tried it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not a fan, but at least she tried it. So they were really good, really easy. So
Indeed.
What did you guys think of them?
Delicious.
Excellent, Smithers.
Yes. John, you got anything else for the outdoors, good sir? And he's
You're muted, buddy.
You're like, oh crap.
Still muted.
Oh, I am muted.
There you go.
No, that's all I got for this evening. Again, guys, if you need any shooting supply needs or any weapons needs of any kind, please go check out our sponsors at Eric's Armory at ericsarmory.com. Be sure to hit them up. Be patient with them. This coronavirus, well, shouldn't say it's so much coronavirus anymore. Now it's just all of us patriots stocking up on stuff because of idiot people in our major cities at the moment. But yeah, be patient with your gun dealers, guys. They are working as hard as they can. Be patient with the manufacturers and the distributors. They are working as hard as they can to fill your orders. So, but anyways, go check them out. See what they can do for you. They will give you an awesome discount. Be sure to say that we sent you over there, and tell them that we hooked you guys up with, send them your way. So, anyways. Thanks, guys, for watching the outdoor segment. And with that, I'll hand it back off to you, J-Dub.
Alrighty. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into our next segment because we're behind the clock here with Pop Steaks. Hit it, Josh. We hope you brought the aloe and sunscreen.
Bullshit.
Because these takes are scorching hot. Now, get ready for some raw,
You want it raw?
gritty, and unfiltered takes from the old man, Don himself.
She can't say the truth because if it does, makes her look like an idiot. Because that's what she is.
These are Pop's Takes right here on BB Nation Radio.
Bullshit.
Pops, good day to you, sir.
Hey, how you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. How's hope you had a excellent holiday break for the 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
Good. I know we were gone at the coast and stuff all this last weekend and whatnot, but how was yours back here? I never did ask you.
Real quiet. We didn't do much anything. Just kind of hung around here and took it easy and got the dogs in before they go wild with the fireworks all over the place.
Right.
The horses, they were running all over the place there, but started lighting up. So.
Gotcha.
But they all got taken care of good. They got through it fine. But yeah, and then of course, last Thursday everybody had to call me and harass me.
I was going to say, yeah, because this last Thursday was the big 8-0 for you. So happy
Yeah.
birthday to you, old man.
Well, thank you.
Oh, hang on. He's got to turn around and grab his cup.
There we go.
There we go.
There
Happy
we are.
birthday to you, old man.
Thank you.
One of what, 2 that you have each year?
Well, yeah, my Marine Corps birthday.
Yeah, exactly. So
Can't ever forget that.
Exactly. And you know what's funny? We talk about birthdays and stuff on here, and you realize that today, as a matter of fact, this Sunday, today is, if you really sit back and think about it, 8 years ago was my second birthday. Actually, I would say my third. Because my first was the day I was actually born. Second was Army birthday. Third was my third birthday, my rebirth day. And what I mean by a rebirth day is it's actually was actually the day that I finally went and got the help that I needed from the VA.
Oh, that's right. You did then.
From when I almost took my own and actually went and got the help that I needed. And the reason I bring this up this week is because, especially with the COVID-19 and everything that's going on, we've seen a huge uprise in veteran suicide right now. Veteran and military suicide. And it's sad. It really is. So I wanted to get your take on things.
Well,
because I know you have this kind of hits home for you as well, just like it does me.
Very much so.
Because we've seen it from the military side.
Right.
But we've also been on the other side of it as being a survivor, because my mother, your daughter, wound up taking her own in 2010.
Yeah, right.
And that was, I remember getting that heads up on that one. That was definitely something else.
That was very traumatic.
Yeah, it certainly
very
was.
Much so. But, I understand there's a lot of, but, I've reached a conclusion. I've been there right on the edge a few times in past years, but I've had lots of help. If it hadn't been for my wife, I don't think I'd ever made it through it.
Right.
But I got to tell you, right now, with all the stuff going on today, and it's very disheartening to all of us, but I do have to tell you that I have to have faith in the American people. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that the American people are going to stand up and put a stop to this violence and everything else is not protested anymore. It's just flat violence and treason and terrorism.
Right. Domestic
terrorism. And it's funded by a guy that's been convicted of terrorism, and and another guy, the leader is a Marxist, confessed Marxist.
Right.
Of the Black Lives Matter. He is a confessed Marxist.
Yeah.
So when you got people like that trying to break through and break our country down, they may be sticking around for a little while, but sooner or later the American people are going to get fed up.
They're going to wisen up and catch up to what's going on.
But it's really sad when you see what some of these politicians are. You take that was it St. Louis, where that couple, they come and took their guns away from them because they were protecting their property.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
I didn't hear about this one.
Well, in the state of Missouri, you're allowed to use a weapon to protect your life
and your property.
Your property and your family's.
Right.
And if someone, you don't have to, it's not like here where you got to have them come break in a house to shoot them.
Right.
There, if they come on your property and they're threatening you,
mm-hmm.
you can blow them away.
Yeah.
And that's self-defense.
Right.
But this attorney there, prosecuting attorney there in St. Louis, she's the most worthless thing I ever seen. She calls herself an attorney. She don't even know the law. She don't know the state constitution. If she did, she'd have kept her mouth shut. But now she got one of these partisan judges to issue a warrant, and they went in and took the rifle, the AR-14 or 15,
mm-hmm.
and the pistol away from them. Well, the pistol they gave to their attorney, and then he was going to turn it into the police.
Lord Almighty!
And
why? If it was a clear-cut case of self-defense, like it was,
you could see it on the screen, on the TV, on the pictures.
Well, between the pictures, all the memes floating around on the internet, and everything else of them.
Yeah, first off, it's a gated community.
Yeah,
they had to trespass in the gated community.
Yeah.
To get into their property.
Exactly.
Even if they were on the sidewalk in front of their house, they were still in private property.
Exactly.
Because they pay for them sidewalks there.
Yeah.
They put it in
It's
themselves.
different if it's like on the street somewhere in the middle of town, but when you're in a actual gated estate community.
Exactly.
But anyhow, we're well off topic now, what we're starting to talk about here. So, and they say that the average normally for veteran suicide and stuff going is 22 a day. Since all this stuff with the coronavirus, the COVID-19, whatever, China virus, whatever you want to call it, since this happened and taken place, the spike has gone up to almost 25, apparently. So, well, and it's sad. It really is, because this isn't just veterans. These are our military community. This is, on both sides, folks that are still in, folks that have gotten out. And it's sad. It really is, because, there's help out there. There really is.
But do you think right now, with they're seeing so much of this stuff going on, they're getting the idea that they're feeling like what they did, what their brothers in arms did, their sisters in arms, how some of them died, a lot of them wounded and maimed. And do you think they're thinking about that, and how they just feel like it wasn't worth it?
It was all for naught.
All for naught, yes.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and that's a possibility too.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
It very well could, but at the same time, you have to remember there's other ways to be able to cope. There's other ways to be able to deal with it versus having to, you don't have to bear that burden alone. And that's the thing I think a lot of our veterans and our military members are forgetting, and that's the hard thing about it.
Yeah, they have to understand that there's just reach out. There's all kinds of help out here. I mean, we've been through it, both of us, and I can tell you right now, I feel like if somebody needed my help, I could give it to them.
Right.
I know what I've been through, and I know how it affected me, and how I got around it, or how I got better from it. My family helped me a lot, but it was
exactly.
I think one of the things was, one of the things that helped me the most, I believe, was working with our kids. One time in 4-H, Pam and I took in on our club. We had our club members get people at risk, kids at risk, and brought them into the club and helped them get through. And we had them come back in later years after they graduated from high school and gone to college or whatever, and they come back at the fairgrounds up there and came and tell us all about how much help we were to them, how to keep them going.
Exactly. I mean, like you said, it's not easy to deal with. It really isn't. And for those of you that do feel, that are listening to this, that do feel like you are alone, like there's something that you feel like you're at the end of your rope, and that there's no other alternative but to do so, remember, there's folks to talk to. There's people that are out there that do care, even though you think that they might not. And I'm not going to lie, it took me a long time to realize this too. But, you can always, I actually have a number for folks to call if they want to be able to reach out for help. The phone number for it's 100% confidential. It's the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255, and press 1 when you make the call. And if that doesn't work for you, you don't want to talk to somebody via voice, if you want to just text somebody, like you're in a crowded room or something, you don't feel comfortable talking about it with somebody over the phone, you can always text for help too, and that number to text is 838-255. So again, that number to text is 838-255. So reach out, get help, folks. I promise it's out there.
Believe me, folks, you got to do it. If you need help, don't hesitate. We're there for you, all of us.
Exactly.
We've been there. We know where you're at. We're brothers in arms and sisters in arms. We've been together in one way or another. Maybe not with me, but with somebody else in the same boat. But we've all been together, and we know what we're going through and what we've been through, what you've been through, and we're here to help, all of us.
Yep, we understand. We really do. And, it's like, as an example, when I almost did it myself, two people in particular. My buddy Jason Phelan, who was my readiness NCO at my home station when I was deployed in 2009, 2010. Well, prior to that, he was my raid. And my platoon sergeant at the time on my last deployment, who is also, he's also the owner and founder of Eric's Armory, Eric Pettis. He was my platoon sergeant at the time.
Right.
And while I was overseas, and it was just a matter of, it was just crazy how it worked. I was having a rough time. I was at that point, and Jason called me on the phone and said, "Hey, you doing okay?" I told him, I was like, "No, I'm not doing all right." He's like, "Okay, I'm on my way." And he drove from his place up there by freaking North Portland, up by the airport, out to my place out in Canby at the time. And Eric turned around and called me, and he was on the phone with me trying to calm me down and everything else till Jason showed up. So if it wasn't for those two gentlemen, I wouldn't be here today.
I understand that.
And it's a hard deal to go through. But folks, I'm telling you, people are out there. There are folks that love you, that care about you, that want to see you get better. So
And you can do it.
Absolutely, you certainly can. So, Pops, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. We're out of time. Here's to you. And by the way, happy birthday to you, sir.
Josh just told me the other day that dirt.
Oh yeah, and
I said, well, no, 40's older than dirt.
So
Not
yeah,
twice
that's right.
that.
You're
Not
like,
twice that.
I'm ancient. You're older than dirt, and Justin is dirt. I believe was what the
something
was.
Something like that, yeah.
Exactly. So, all right, folks. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys next week, right back here on Pop's Takes. All right, and that wraps up this edition of Pop's Takes right here on BV Nation Radio. Thanks again to the old man Don. Do greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, sorry, go ahead.
One thing I'll throw out there really quick for Pops. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, that's true, because it was his birthday here on Thursday.
It was.
So,
happy 80th.
Yeah.
To be exact.
Exactly. So, all right. And, you know, we take veteran suicide here on the show very, very seriously. We really do. And as somebody that, you know, like I said, I've had my issues with it and dealing with it. I know there are others that have. You know, it's one of those things we have to take care of each other on. It's a very serious issue. And, you know, even one a day is still too many. So, and that actually, in regards to that, brings us into our news story that I want to go over with tonight. So, Josh, go ahead and hit it, sir. All right, brought to us out of Fox News. This was published 2 days ago. Headline reads, Army's Captain America dies by suicide after nearly a dozen combat tours. Master Sergeant Andy Christian Marcinsano served 6 full tours in Iraq with the 82nd and the 75th Ranger Regiment. The enemy could never break him, but what this decorated Green Beret eventually found was that the enemy was within. Friends who served with him in the military say he was a real quote-unquote Captain America. Master Sergeant Andrew Christian Marcinsano served 6 full tours in Afghanistan with the 82nd Airborne and 75th Ranger Regiment and a half dozen more combat tours overseas. He rose to become a decorated Green Beret and Silver Star recipient. He had just moved to Washington, D.C. to start a job at the Pentagon. 2 days after the 4th of July on Monday night, after having dinner with his former battalion commander, Marcinsano returned home from dinner in Old Town Alexandria and died by suicide in front of his wife. He had 3 small children and was still on active duty. His death sent shockwaves through the military. His friends, family, and military leaders were at a loss. Many told Fox News that Marcinsano never got over his tour in Afghanistan's Arghandab Valley in 2009 with 2 of the 508 infantry, a battalion that had one of the highest casualty rates of any unit during the war. That deployment was like being in the ring with Mike Tyson for a year, according to the battalion's former Command Sergeant Major Burt Puckett. He sent a passionate appeal this week to the rest of the battalion. Text me. I told you before, my door is open. My phone is at hand. We did things that people make movies about, and in some cases, writers and producers wouldn't even try to write our story. The rucksack is heavy, and when it gets heavy, we help each other. But you have to reach out. Don't let the valley win. Marcinsano's suicide was the 30th from that battalion. He is one of the 20 combat veterans taking their lives each day. That number is higher. An epidemic the military and White House are trying to stop. Last month, President Trump launched the Prevent Task Force with a White House ceremony. My administration is marshaling every resource to stop the crisis of veteran suicide and protect our nation's most treasured heroes. They've been through so much, and it's such a deep-seated problem, Trump said. Staff Sergeant Alan Thomas was in the same battalion as Marcinsano. He died by suicide in 2013, leaving behind 2 daughters and his wife, Danica, who was at the White House ceremony in June to launch the President's Suicide Prevention Initiative, the Independence Fund, and the Department of Veteran Affairs, Be a Hero for a Hero. They sponsored retreats for units like 2 of the 508s to reconnect and keep fighting for the buddy on the left and on their right. There is also, which we already talked about, there is also a 24/7 veteran crisis line. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255. The VA now has same-day access for emergency mental health care. Under the Trump administration, veterans have a right to seek private sector care at the VA's expense if the VA cannot provide timely care directly to the veteran. Thomas was a 3-time combat tour infantryman with the 82nd Airborne. A suicide bomber detonated and ripped through his body. He recovered from severe polytrauma after months at Walter Reed, but struggled with PTSD. He was medically retired, but missed the military mission, according to Danica, who said he felt useless in civilian life. In September 2013, he asked his young wife to take him to Fayetteville VA emergency room for a psychiatric evaluation. There were no beds, so the VA sent him home with a prescription for painkillers, something that would not happen today given new procedures. Days later, the last words Alan said to me were, "I love you." I heard the gun cock, then he went out the door, and I heard the door shut on us. Just like the VA had shut the door on him, Danica Thomas wrote of her husband's mental breakdown that night in 2013. Eyewitnesses said Alan's last words were, "I got it. I cleared the house." We think at the time Alan thought he was back in Afghanistan, but in body, Alan was in our residential neighborhood in Fayetteville. He thought he was taking out the enemy, but instead it was 2 innocent neighbors and their dog. And Walt, 68, and her husband Todd were killed that night. Alan, a 2-time Purple Heart recipient, then turned the gun on himself. We believe he came back to the here and now and realized what happened. Then he fell to his knees and turned the gun on himself. I heard the crack of the gunshot from across the neighborhood. His wife, Danica, wrote he did everything right. He wasn't too proud to ask for help, and he asked for it, but the VA was too broken to provide it. And because of that, 3 lives were lost just days after he asked for help. Weeks later, the VA called to offer Thomas his medical appointment. I buried my American hero with a baby on each hip, Danica Thomas said. Young combat veterans die by suicide at 4 times the rate of other veterans. Representatives Susie Lee, Democrat of Nevada, and Jack Bergman, Republican out of Michigan, introduced a bipartisan bill this week to launch the Zero Suicide Initiative at the Department of Veterans Affairs to improve veteran care and suicide prevention, with the ultimate goal of bringing veteran deaths by suicide down to zero. An unexpected outgrowth of COVID-19 epidemic is that mental health resources for former combat troops, active duty troops, and their families have been a casualty of the quarantine. And repeat combat tours have led seasoned troops say the forces still being deployed to Afghanistan are, quote unquote, out of gas. End of article. And I tell you what, may both those veterans rest in peace. And unfortunately, it is a sad, sad, dark truth to the demons that our veterans and our military carry when they're having to deal with stuff like this that's going on. So, it's another reason why we say reach out, get the help. It's there. Don't ignore the signs. And this was a big thing that I noticed at the time too when I went through my ordeal. Unless the VA had quote unquote beds available, they would turn you away. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, we'll get in touch with you. We'll notify you when we have availability for you to come in and get the help that you need." Now they're actually that's one of the nice things about with the change that now you can get privatized care on the VA's dime. That helps our veterans out a lot in dealing with this, especially when it comes to dealing with mental illness and having to deal with those demons. And that very well could have helped this soldier out in 2013. And unfortunately, it was too little, too late in both cases. So, Mariah, I've seen you over here just face palming like, oh dear God.
When it comes to someone wanting to do suicide or anything, not a lot of them get a second chance or anything. So it takes a stronger person to reach out and get help than what it does to let it happen.
Yep, exactly. John, you got anything on this? You're muted again.
Guys, there are a lot of other resources out there than the VA. I'm just going to say that right now. if you're watching one of them, reach out to us. Be more than happy to talk to anybody that's having any hard time or hard issue. Second of all, like if you're for those fellow brothers that are in the Central Oregon area, because I can't speak to the west side of the state, you have organizations like COVO, you have organizations like the County VSO here in Kirk County and in Deschutes County for that matter. They are amazing organizations, and they are far better at what they do than the VA, in my opinion, when it comes to mental health stuff. They are far more caring, and they're local. Chances are you probably know some of the people that are working for them. So, reach out. There are resources out there. Reach out to us. I'd be happy to point you in the direction of, helpful resources for that.
Absolutely, we would.
So, just it takes reaching out. You're not alone out there. We all have struggles with this stuff. I'll be the first to admit that I struggle with this, especially here recently. And the whole full disclosure of being open and honest on the show. I had a handle on it for quite a while, and things come back to haunt you after a little bit. So reach out and get the help that you need. It's there, and you're only doing yourself and your buddies a disservice and your family by not reaching out. Swallow your pride. There's no reason to be prideful about it. Just get help.
It's not a sign of weakness if you reach out for help. I will tell you that right now. It takes a lot more guts to stand up and admit that you need it and accept it than what it does to just try and face those demons alone. I promise you that. Take it from somebody who knows.
It comes down to the saying, don't take a permanent solution to a temporary matter. You're only putting that heartache and pain on somebody else.
Exactly. So with that takes care of this week's news stories. So with that being said, on to something a little bit more lighthearted. Josh,
Please.
Hit it, good sir.
I'll spell it for you. D-U-M-M-Y.
Shut up, dummy.
You big dummy.
For every man, there's a woman.
And for every dummy, there's a dummy.
And now, your dummy of the week on BB Nation Radio.
Be advised, we were pointing at Josh, not the camera.
All right, we're gonna go through this kind of quickly because I have 2 stories this week for you guys, and they're both brought to you out of Clackamas County.
Oh my God! You mean it's not Florida?
No, it's not. So the first one.
This first one is literally just down the road from work, and I stop in there all the time.
Yeah.
Suspect driver 18 crashes Acura after beer run gone bad. Robbery, hit and run for $30 worth of Keystone and Coors.
Yeah, buddy. Should have got that PBR. Maybe he wouldn't have gone to jail.
2 juvenile accomplices sought witness driver available for interviews. That's with the picture of the Acura that was flipped upside down.
I think they misread that because when it says VTEC on the side, I think it's a Honda. No accuracy, use a VTEC.
Oh man, dude, I got that VTEC. It goes so fast.
Acura, that's correct.
Is it?
Yes.
Huh.
Absolutely.
All right.
At about 11:15 p.m. on Thursday, June 25th, 2020, Clackamas County Sheriff Office deputies responded to a report of a theft in progress at the Eagle Creek Jackpot located at Southeast Highway 224. A young adult male and 2 unidentified juveniles were attempting to steal beer when their plans went significantly sideways. 2 juvenile suspects ran out of the Eagle Creek Jackpot carrying cases of Keystone and Coors beer, and they jumped into a waiting suspect vehicle, a 1997 Acura CL driven by Caleb Mitchell, 18, of Wilsonville. A gas attendant attempted to stop the teens from leaving. Mitchell reportedly accelerated a getaway car towards the attendant. A customer in the parking lot saw this and believed the suspect driver was attempting to hit the attendant with the Acura. Thinking fast, the customer pulled his Honda Civic in front of the suspects. The Acura collided with the passenger side of a Honda Civic that fled east on Highway 224 and then on southeast Curran Road. The customer in the Honda Civic followed them. The occupants of the suspect vehicle reportedly realized that they were being followed by the Honda and made a U-turn and started traveling the opposite direction. The suspect vehicle passed the Honda. The Acura sideswiped the Honda Civic, damaging it a second time. The Honda's driver, now a hit-and-run victim, continued to follow the Acura in his Honda, only to find the suspect vehicle had flipped over in the middle of Curran Road near Eagle Creek Road.
Oh my God.
The suspects were getting out of the upside-down vehicle and fleeing the scene on foot. Before fleeing, one of the juvenile suspects reportedly approached the Honda and threatened to punch a female victim in the passenger seat before running away. As seen in the above-line dashcam video, deputies arrived on scene to investigate. The female passenger had an injured elbow from the hit and run, but declined medical attention. They estimated about $2,500 damage to the Honda.
Which is the whole car.
Sometimes. A short time later, the suspect driver, 18-year-old Caleb Mitchell, returned to the crash scene driven by his mother.
Oh,
Mitchell was detained without further incident. Mitchell admitted to being the driver, but declined to identify his two juvenile occupants. Mitchell was booked into the Clackamas County Jail on charges of robbery 2, hit and run with injury, and his booking photo is attached. The stolen beer was worth $30.78.
With deposit.
Yeah, with the deposit.
Says they went on to do interviews and everything. And then it says that the sheriff's office is seeking the two juvenile suspects in this case who ran from the Eagle Creek jackpot carrying the beer. Anyone with information is urged to contact the sheriff's office.
So I didn't tell you guys, but I actually heard this come up on the police scanner. I heard this.
Oh,
chase.
really?
Yeah. And because they were telling the Honda driver to stop following behind especially after he'd already been hit twice.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, he just needs to stop following. Just tell him to park it and know, whatnot. And right about that time is when they flipped the car. So.
Oh my God! And what's funny is that on the original Facebook post for this article, I went through and I noticed there was a comment by somebody on there that says, "Well, when the suspect is commenting on his own feed." I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, what?" And I said screenshots. I was like, "Hey, by the way, guess what, buddy? Good job on making Dummy of the Week this week for my show. Just saying." I got a lot of reactions out of that one. There were a lot of people that thought that was awesome, but not him, not so much. I was like, hey, good job, Mom, for diming you out and dragging your ass back to the freaking scene of the crime. That's awesome. Good job, Mom.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Exactly. So, Mariah, what else do you got for us since it's a twofer this week?
All right, for this other one, it is, again, out of Clackamas County.
Oh, my God.
Oregon man driving stolen car crashes into woman driving another stolen car.
Go on.
Actually, I thought it was Clackamas County. It's not. It was actually.
Excuse me.
It was actually Newburgh.
Newburgh and Dundee.
Oh.
Close.
Yeah, I was going to say, just right down the street.
A police chase in Oregon ended when a driver fleeing authorities in a stolen car crashed into a woman driving another stolen car.
Oh my God.
The debacle took place Monday when police responded to a report of a stolen Toyota Land Cruiser driving through downtown Newburgh, according to Newburgh Dundee police. The pursuit ensued and lasted for several blocks until the driver crashed into another car near an intersection. The cops identified the driver of the first car as Randy Lee Cooper of Portland.
All right.
After taking Cooper into custody, the police realized that the second car was also reported stolen in an unrelated crime 3 weeks ago. The driver of that car, Kristen Nicole Berg, was also found to be under the influence. Cooper was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, attempting to elude police, assault, and reckless driving.
Whoopsie.
See, you get into a wreck with another stolen car. It's a twofer.
It is
for
a
one.
twofer.
This was a two for dummy of the week, and it was a two for arrest right there too.
Yep.
That was a twofer for the cops today, or that day, man. Good God Almighty! Wow.
If you're gonna do dumb stuff, don't get caught.
Yeah, Matt, you're right. Florida is slacking. What the heck?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be our new Florida man. Come on, get out there and get us some stories, man.
Come on, man. Get with the program. So, all right. Well, thank you, Mariah, for both those dummies of the week this week. And thank you, Oregon, for, making us look like a bunch of jackwagons.
Corona stuff is going to people's head.
Yeah, exactly. They must all be out of Portland, I'm telling you. Protests are driving them up a wall. So, anyhow, all right, guys. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and make our last round around the room right quick before we go ahead and get ready to wrap this show on up. So, starting things off, John. Wait. Before we do, Josh, hit it. Now take it away.
Safety brief time. Yep. Drink Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Stay away from Keystone and Coors.
Stay away from Keystone and Coors. Don't snort cocaine off strippers' asses. Don't crash stolen cars into another stolen car. Don't be your wives. Don't be your husbands. Latex saves paychecks. If you're going to riot, pillage and burn while you're at it. But don't do it in a conservative town. You might get shot.
Throwing it out
Just
there.
throwing it out there. Helpful information for you. Guys, stay safe out there. Things are crazy in our world today. Just keep, watch your back, watch your family's back, watch your friends' back. As weather is getting hotter, especially here in Central Oregon, where it's in the 90s almost every day now. Stay hydrated, drink lots of water. And if you're in a rough spot, whether you're a vet or not, reach out. Don't, as Mariah has said, as Justin has said, as Josh has said, as many people on this show have said, don't take a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Reach out.
My God.
So with that, that's all I got.
Thank you, good sir. Mariah.
Be aware of your surroundings when you're out and about and everything. Unfortunately, pay attention to what's going on with wearing a mask and all that. Try to abide by it if you don't like it and everything. Or as Josh likes to do, he sends somebody else to the grocery store for him. He's kind of got a personal shopper. But yeah, just be safe out there. Make sure you wear sunblock out there, like John said. It's getting warm and everything, and make sure you reapply it. Don't be like me and turn like a lobster, because I did not think of reapplying it. I'm paying the price for it. It's my own fault. I have no one else to point the finger at or blame, so I'm going to deal with it. But be safe out there. And if you're outside in the heat and everything, make sure you're staying hydrated, as well as making sure that your animals have proper hydration as well.
All right. High tech.
Just want to actually give a shout out to my buddy Jacob Boyer. Congratulations on promotion to sergeant.
Oh, right on.
He's
Welcome
with,
to the NCO Corps, good sir.
He's with the 1227th ARB Vampire Sea Company.
Oh, okay.
So, and just actually landed back on home soil yesterday.
Nice.
So,
welcome home, buddy.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Yeah, enjoy the extra paycheck.
Yeah. That's one of the healthier pay jumps is from E4 to E5.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
So,
it's nice.
But, again, weather's nice. Get out there. Get with your friends. Get with your family. Enjoy life, people. Don't take it too seriously. So we will catch you next week.
Yep. Nobody makes it out alive. You only get one to live, so live it to its fullest. Don't give up on it. It's there's plenty of it out there. So thank you guys all for tuning in this week. Do greatly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And with that being said, I want to give a big shout once again to our friends and sponsors up at Eric's Armory and ericsarmory.com. Thank you to being an outstanding sponsor for us here at the show. Do greatly appreciate it. And thank you guys, the viewers, for all tuning in like you do every week. And remember to share the show out and spread the word with all your friends. Be sure to hit the subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell so that way you know when we upload new content and when we go live right back here next week for another episode of BV Nation Radio. I will talk to you guys on Tuesday night or on the fence line. And in the meantime, enjoy, everybody. Take care. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
This has been another episode of BB Nation Radio here on Backwoods Veterans Media.